Willkommen everybody, how are you? It's Casey here, and I wanted to do a very quick video about a very important topic for us online business people, and that is capturing leads. So for some of you, this is not going to be a new topic. Lead generation and capturing subscribers and leads has been something that has always been out there, and obviously it's the #1 way of building up a business online. Building up a business in general, essentially, by having an email marketing list that you can go back to over and over again that become rabid fans, let's say, right? Okay, so here's a few things that have been going on in the last few years. You know how Facebook got really big? Well, what happened with Facebook after Facebook got large and in charge is a lot of landing pages or opt-in pages, or where people can't subscribe pages, all started getting what's known as Facebook comments on them. And people started doing this because of the social proof that it actually added. But here's the thing, once people started doing this, and they started noticing a bit of a trend, and I'm talking about myself personally, okay? So if this is not you, don't worry about it. But for me personally, I noticed that after adding Facebook comments to a page, would start getting less and less opt-ins or subscribers coming through. And for a while, I kind of put it off like, well, it's okay because I have the social proof and it's fine. It's just a little drop off. Not a big deal, not a big deal. I have social proof. I'm in Facebook. Everyone loves it. But here's the problem, is that I was really kind of just like tricking myself into believing that this was a good approach because everybody else was doing it and Facebook was so popular. So I went back to some buddies now, just recently, and asked, hey, what should we do nowadays? What should we do to keep opt-ins coming through? And they helped me out with some ideas, and I wanted to share some of these ideas with you because I think there's a trend going back to the day of where a person only had one option of coming to a landing page, and that is subscribe or not subscribe. So I guess that's two options actually. So I think there's this direction that we're all taking to go back to that original way of doing things. And I wanted to share some things that I had some insight from other people, and as soon as I started digging around more, I went deeper and deeper into the hole of how to best optimize your landing pages. And this is what I came up with. First and foremost, if you do have Facebook comments on your landing page right now, consider removing those completely, okay? Just take those channels, put them in your pocket, all right? Use them for later. But what you can have is maybe just have a like button. So you're not allowing someone to maybe put a stingy old comment or an angry comment, or, you know, like oh, your video didn't play. You are terrible. You're an awful person. I can already tell. Okay, so instead of having those people leave those comments, just by simply having a like button on there and then obviously having the option to opt in are two good enough call to actions. And I think that it has enough social proof with the like button, but it doesn't take away from the actual intention of that page, which is to obviously build up subscribers or leads. Okay. So that was #1 that I wanted to quickly talk to you about. The second thing that I started noticing are gateway splash pages. Now, gateway splash pages have been around for a little bit, and in fact, in 2012, we saw a big push with gateway splash pages, and let me just show you one very popular one. Boom! Here's Obama. Obama is an awesome example of using a really good gateway splash page. Now, the gateway splash page is simply this. It's a welcome page that when someone comes to your website, instead of going into your website, it's like sort of a welcome gate saying, hi there, would you like to opt in? You can get all this juicy information just by opting in, right? So in Obama's case, you can see that he has a place where you can put your email and zip code. So as you can see, Obama's gateway splash page really only has one option. Well, actually in Obama's case, it has two options. It has, are you in? That's his call to action saying, and you can now subscribe or continue to the site, right? So you can actually continue to the site, or you can kind of click on the bottom links right at the bottom, you know, disclaimer, contact us, and all sorts of other stuff. But this is in fact a gateway into his site. And I'm thinking President Obama was pretty smart putting this together, because he was able to then capture or get those people that were interested in his campaign that he could follow up with. A brilliant, brilliant strategy that very few of his running mates put into place. Another example of a gateway splash page is Mixergy. Now, Mixergy is an awesome, awesome site where you can access a bunch of interviews from different entrepreneurs from around the world. Now, Mixergy only has one option here, and that is to put your email in. It doesn't have an option to continue to the site. Now, I like both of these examples, and I can see where both really, really work well. Mixergy has a really strong call to action saying, hey, learn from proven entrepreneurs, over 801 interviews, 87 courses. Sign up and get top Mixergy interviews, start, okay? That's exactly what they're saying. No reason why you wouldn't jump right at that. Now, in Obama's case, are you in? Not a very strong call to action, but of course, this is President Obama, so we know what are you in stands for. If this was like Randy O'Newmanstein, then obviously it wouldn't work as well. But it's President Obama, so we all know what that stands for. Now, I personally like this continue to website. And the reason being is that I kind of compare this to steak and wine. Let's say the welcome gate is considered kind of like red wine, right? So you're offering red wine right at the start, right? But they're like, you know what? I'm hungry first. I don't necessarily want to jump into getting, completely wasted on red wine. So they want to go and maybe have a steak, right? So they continue to the website, and that signifies steak in this metaphoric scenario. But then, once they get that steak, they want to finally drink that wine. Why do they want to drink the wine? Because the wine and the steak are perfect combinations. They're a perfect blend together. So what's nice is, once you do continue to the website, Obama then puts up more options for you to then opt in. So you never forget about that wine that you were initially offered. It's in your mind. You're like, oh man, that wine sounded so good, but I wanted steak first. But now that I've had some steak, I really want that wine again. So that's where this really works well, because you immediately put it in their brain that yes, they want to access this, they want to get it, the red wine, but then they get the steak first, and then boom, they're ready for the red wine after they've consumed a little bit. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is what I call limiting friction. Now, limiting friction simply means, instead of putting up all these obstacles for people to come through and become subscribers, limit that option, okay? Now, this is a popular concept that's already out there already. I'm not the person that created this limit friction thing, okay? That's already out there. But let me tell you what I have here in regards to the best ways to limit some friction. So I have here to use fewer fields in your opt-in box or your registration box. A lot of us, what we have is we have name, email, tell us, about yourself, leave your social security number, tell us your favorite color, Britney Spears or Beyonce. So they put a lot of friction or stumbling blocks for someone to actually register. So instead of that, limit that. Maybe give them an option. Maybe give them an option first off, right out of the gate, just to put their email. Then through that process, start asking more and more questions of them. Maybe learn a bit more about them. So after they've come through the email, you can say, hey, we just wanted to make sure we knew where you wanted to go. So maybe do you like this or this? And they click this, then they are taken somewhere else. Do you want this or this? They're taken somewhere else. So you kind of take them through a path, but you limit the friction initially right up front so that they aren't freaked out when they're coming through. Another option and another way of doing this is, think of this concept. Less is more. Less is more is actually stemmed off of this concept of overgiving. I think overgiving was a very popular concept for a long period of time, but now actually overgiving can now kind of overstimulate someone. It gives them too many options. Let me give you an example of what I mean by overgiving or oversharing. So if you give like a 7-day video marketing bootcamp, something like I do, and an ebook, and a recording of a webinar that you did, and 5 MP3s of you teaching X, Y, and Z, well, what you're doing is essentially you're giving so much value right out of the gate that half of that they're not going to look at. they're not going to think that, oh, well, you have more to give because you gave it all. You gave away the entire cart, essentially. So instead of giving away the entire cart, think of something consumable, short, and sweet that gives a ton of value, but it's small. Maybe like a 3-day course, but the course is actually just like a 3-minute video, let's say. So each day is like a 3 to 5 minute video with awesome content. That's something with huge value. They're not overwhelmed by all the stuff that you're sending through, and you can actually create less. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. Another thing is tell them why you need their email. Here's what I mean by that. Give them a reason as to why you're collecting their email. Don't let them think that you're just farming their information. Say to them something like this: I have a 3-video series that I'm going to be giving to you over the next 3 days. I need your email so that I can send you a new video every single day. The reason I need your email is so I can send you an email. It's a very simple concept. All you have to do is say it in your sales copy. Whatever you're saying on the page, just let them know, I need your email so that I can send you via email what I have to give you. And this is why email newsletters work so well, because email newsletters are something that people understand. They understand that you are going to be sending them an email and you're going to give them updates. So maybe if you don't have necessarily a free gift, or if you don't have like a 3-day or 4-day video series, you can simply say to them, sign up so that you can get our updates and email newsletter if you liked this bit of content. So what you can do in that situation is share with them some awesome content right on the video that they're coming to, and then say, hey, did you enjoy this? Come on through and subscribe to our newsletter so that I can give you updates as to when I do these awesome videos with good content. That's essentially what you can do in regards to telling them why essentially you're using and needing their email. Okay, now in conclusion to all of this, there's one thing I wanted to mention as a caveat to all this. The only place that I've actually seen this work to where you don't necessarily have to worry so much about the friction is with webinars. Webinars, I've noticed that people still want to register and still want to provide you their information because they see that as a higher quality, higher level of teaching platform. So this is the only caveat, the only kind of exception to the rule is with webinars. You can still collect a name, email, and if you needed to collect more, you can collect phone numbers, etc., right? I've noticed that that still works because they see a higher value in a longer period of teaching that comes with webinars. Okay, that was officially my rant for the day. So, if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and share it to your friends, neighbors, loved ones, and enemies, and let's keep the discussion going. Go ahead and comment below to let me know what you think about the way people are using opt-in pages now. Do you think that farming your information this way is wrong? Do you have strategies for collecting opt-ins and subscribers that I haven't talked about? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Let's get some meaty stuff going, whether they're spears being thrown or whether they're glitter and hearts. I'd love to get both on both ends. And as always, please go ahead and sign up below to the newsletter so I can send you juicy content like this and more, all about video marketing, business tips, and other things that come along with being an entrepreneur. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and I'll see you on the flip side. Take care. Bye-bye.